So our next session is identifying value in short team opportunities. And please give one more round of applause for my dear colleague moderator, Tarkan, and his panelists as well. If I'm going to read it well, Olun, Dehan, Ogetbil. Am I right? One more applause for them, please.
Welcome everyone again. If I can take a small attention to the panel, but please stand up again as your physical instructor is in town. Please stand up. Please stand up. All right, just do a little bit of stretching. To your right, to your left, and a little bit of a half circle. Thank you very much. Okay, in this session, I'm going to also be speaking. So my longtime friend here, Dehan Ogetbil, currently chief scout of Bascot, where you built pretty much 90% of the squad from scratch. Well, Dehan Ogetbil's career started back in 2015, where we were together. Well, almost 6 years in Nike scouting, and we were actually working together there and identifying talents in a very, very early age. Then, well, Discovery, Ozan Kabak, Çağlar Söyüncü, Cengiz Ünder, they're all became the Turkish national team players.
Yeah.
Yes.
My mic is off. Oh, all right. Sorry.
Okay. And you joined Beşiktaş, then you went to Fenerbahce, then came back again to Beşiktaş as a chief scout.
Yeah.
Well, your days in Fenerbahce, Vedat Muriqi, now still in Spain. Altay Bayındır is now in Manchester United. And, well, key transfers back in the Beşiktaş days, Valentin Rozier and so many other ones.
Yeah.
And then you went to work with Sports Republic.
Yeah.
They own Göztepe, Southampton, Valenciennes, and you were also involved in a lot of transfers in Göztepe.
Yeah.
Which they actually promoted from the second league to first league, Turkish Super League. And well, it's a very interesting question I have.
Yeah.
Something simple. Let's start. Then I'll squeeze you tighter a bit later. So what's the difference between summer transfer and a winter transfer?
So the summer transfer window actually where you can be more idealistic, where you can make more long-term plans. Of course, it's always important to build your team to be competitive. That's the main goal of every team. But this is where actually you can make more long-term investments, long-term projects. You can go more for emerging players. In winter window, it's a different story. It also depends on the club. If you are a well-established club with good financial situation, you can also make investments for long-term in winter window. But I mostly like to talk about our current situation because it would be more practical for people to understand. In our case at Bershot, right now we are playing for promotion, and it is a must for us that we want.
And you came to the team in a downtown situation.
Yeah. In the summer, unfortunately,
when they dropped down from the Belgium Super League
the team got relegated, and we came to a club where there was more desperation
and a change of ownership.
And actually promotion wasn't the initial plan in the beginning of the season, but through right data scouting and video scouting with a quite limited budget, we built a solid team. Right now, we are
How much did you guys spend, if you don't mind asking?
I would say for the whole team around 2.5 million
Altogether.
altogether.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a
altogether.
roster.
Yeah. It includes the coaching stuff and everything. So it took lots of work, especially in data wise. We put really hard work to build a team like this because we were needing at least more than 10 players. The important thing was to make the right mixture because we were also needing assets to sell in the future, right? Because in these kind of clubs in Belgium, they are being run by the player sales.
You're already, if you don't mind me asking, you already have a request for one player for over 2.5?
Yeah, we have one of the players that we got in the
Already?
summer. Yeah, already we received one offer, so it was a really important transfer. Hope we will be able to keep him for the
So
second
would
half
you
of the
like to
season.
keep him or sell him?
No, keep him. That's where I'm coming to.
Mm.
Because this season, in the very beginning, our goal was not particularly promotion, but we built the team, and me and my sporting director, since the first second, we were thinking about the promotion. So now we are coming to the winter window. In the winter window, we have to be more pragmatic. We have lots of emerging young players in our lists. Also, lots of agents are sending players with high potential and everything. But like I said, it depends on every club situation. If we were a well-established club with good financial situation and we were going to our goal without any obstacle, even in winter window, you can think about emerging players, long-term investments. But in our case, we have a limited budget. We have to be more practical. We have to be more pragmatic. So now all we need in the winter window, I mean, for clubs as like the difference between summer and winter window is this. In the summer window, we can get emerging players. We made transfers 35 years old, 30 years old players, and also we got players 18 years old, 20 years old for emerging players. It's about making the right mixture. You cannot get only emerging young players and expect them to grow. They need good role models in the team. You have to make that right mixture. So we made that, and now in the winter window for our goal of promotion, we need a couple of more additions to increase the quality of the team who can make immediate impact. Those players. That's the most important thing about winter window.
So
In summer window, you can like I said, you can expect something in long term. But winter window is, especially for clubs like us, mostly about immediate impact.
well, the thing is, you came from recently. You were in Beşiktaş
Yeah.
with all that money.
Yeah.
And you landed in a place relatively, I can't say relatively, but
It's more than
much less budget. So what was, I mean, you're coming from spending 40 million to 2.5.
Yeah.
So how did you yourself adjust to the situation?
Luckily, I had a transition process because from Beşiktaş, I didn't directly move to Beershot.
Yeah, you had a little bit of time.
Before I had the time with Göztepe. In Göztepe, we were in the second division of Turkey, and our goal was promotion. So there, first, in the very beginning, for like few months of my work, it was kind of difficult for me because it was a new world to me. I was so used to looking for international players, playing in national team, playing for high reputation clubs. From there, suddenly I had to go look for them. Respected players from respected clubs, but the level was a lot below. So that transition was a bit more difficult for me in the very beginning for like a couple of months. But after a point, you get used to it. It's all about working hard and trying to understand the level. And the most importantly, the football style is different with the high level and low level. So it took a few more months. Then I got used to that level. From there, after that, for me, transition to Beershot became easier because I had the Göztepe. If I directly came from Beşiktaş, it would be
you went down to lower markets and similar budgets in the Sports Republic.
Yeah.
So what was just tell us a solid story of short window transfer.
So winter window.
Yes.
All right. So we were at Göztepe. We were playing for promotion. We were, if I'm not mistaken, in the second place. We were kind of in a secure position, but still we were needing one more push to guarantee the promotion. So we were looking for a striker. But in our situation, economically in that league, we were kinda better than the other clubs because of the Sport Republic. It's a big organization, so we were having their power behind us. So we were looking for a player who can make immediate impact. Like I said, in winter window, it's very important. But at the same time, it would be better if it's the player has potential and resale value. So we made our data search and everything. In the end, there was one player that we were.
You found in comparison.
I didn't find it wasn't me who found the player.
Okay.
One of our scouts found the player and first suggested to me. I checked, and all the other scouts checked, and we were like, yeah, this is the player, because the player, I'm gonna give the name. The player was doing everything that we were wanting. He was very mobile. He was pressing. He was able to keep the ball. He was making his runs, fast,
physically
physical,
strong.
everything.
So the name?
The name is Romulo. That's we sold later on more than
20
20 million euros Leipzig from Göztepe. So we got the player in Turkey's second league. So it was a loan deal for us, like 1.5 year loan deal. The thing is, we were. I'm gonna talk about the data. So when we checked the player's data, he was great in attacking duels. Aerially, he was decent, pressing a lot, moving a lot, a great link-up player. But he was missing one thing, because before watching the player, I checked the data. When I checked it, I realized something. He is touching the ball in the box less than any other striker in the league. So I was like,
Then conversion rate was high.
no, 30 games, 1 goal. But then I realized something. After checking his heat map, and after watching the player, I realized something. His role was different. The coach gave him a role outside of the box as a link-up player, as a pressing player, a player to make services to his teammates. But we also noticed something. He actually has good movement in the box, and he has a shooting ability. So we were having the luxury, like I said, to make a bit long-term project in the winter transfer. Still, we were needing that immediate impact. So we said this. In his role in his team, he's playing outside of the box a lot. But if we can use him in the box more, he would be able to score us a lot of goals because he has those abilities.
Well, that's the player's future potential.
Yeah. It's also all about understanding the data. 30 goals, 30 games, 1 goal. He's not scoring. It doesn't work like that. You should understand the reasons why he's not scoring. That's the difference between watching and scouting.
Well, obviously you already talked about the risks involved.
Yeah, there.
Because the player could just blow up.
Of course. For example, you should be winter transfer window is a very risky window, a lot more risky than summer window, because you have a short period and you need immediate impact. And the most important thing, especially if you are bringing players from overseas, is the adaptation. If the player is going to adapt to your city, if the player has experience playing abroad before, if the player has other players in your team to speak the same language, because you already have an established team, there's a group there, so you should understand his habits, and everything would be suitable enough to suit that group of players. So these are for me, the main risks. Of course, there are some other risks, like if the players, you have to make research about players' character, personality, etc. But it's also the same risks in summer window. But winter window, like I said, it's mostly about the adaptation. You should be sure. You can never be sure, of course. These are human beings in the end, but you should be more careful to understand if the adaptation can be done as quick as possible. In our case, in Romulo's transfer. We were having a couple of Brazilian players in our team. It's also, by the way, very important to keep the balance. Two, okay, three, all right. After three, if you bring more, it's not just a case of Brazilian players, it's about any country. Then you can have problems. So it's
The
all,
gang.
yeah, well, you can say gang, I can say friendly grouping. It depends. But it's all about making the balance, the age balance, young players, mid-age players, old players. You have to have some diversity in the like you can't have 6 players from one country, or you cannot be like UNICEF, 13 players from different countries. Like, in one of my teams in the past, we were having a team that we were having players from 16 different countries, 16 different cultures. Individually, all of them were really great players. But as a group, they were unfortunately failing because they all were coming from different cultures.
Okay, any questions to me?
Well, I know that you have some history as well. Before starting the Comparisinator, you were actually the head scout of, if I'm not mistaken, Bursaspor.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you have some interesting stories as well, especially in terms of players from abroad and winter transfer window specifically. So is there any story that you can share with us?
Well, probably one of the most interesting winter transfer was Fernandao.
Top player.
And what happened was, as you know, it's a January transfer.
Yeah.
Okay. And we had a Christoph Doms, really good friend, was a former chief scout back in the German days, right?
Yeah.
So we identified Fernandao through data first. And all these algorithms that we built at that point.
So wait a second, we are talking about like 2013, 14.
2013, 14.
Which data are you talking about?
Well, the thing is, those days, because I'm originally from Australia, so I mastered the sports code. I was in the invention table of sports code back in 1999,
Wow.
And then we extracted the data from MyScout, coded the data with sports code, and created an elimination stage like we did in Comparisinator. But back in those days, of course, there was no AI. So everything was perfect. We watched all the matches, etc. And we wanted to, Christoph Daum's friend, to watch him.
Okay.
So he probably spent over a month, and each game he reported, etc., etc. So, and in the end, we bought him. He was actually 194 and 96 kilos, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, and he said, look, there's a little bit of a time because the league is over. So let me just enjoy the summer 2-3 weeks. And by the time we were planning, look, we're going to go to a winter break. And those days, it was 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time,
Yeah.
Plenty of time for joy and getting together with family, so on and so forth. Anyway, Fernando arrives and comes to the club. It's probably about 130 kilos.
I know.
And I said, because thinking of then, I'm thinking the fan pressure. He's gonna go on the field. He looks like an elephant. Very nice guy though, but still built, not fat. I said, I'm in trouble. And Christoph called me, the president called me, Tarkan, is this the player? I said, yes. Well, make sure he plays and score goals, otherwise you will be on the field. Anyway, then 1 month of big trying to lose kilo, but at the same time trying to build the muscle around it. First game in the 45th minute.
I remember.
And the fans started murmuring, Second game, 65th minute, but sweating like a dog, But third game onwards, never stopped scoring.
Yeah. Then
Twice in a row, goal scorer of the year, and then to Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce. Yeah.
That's the lucky bit of it.
Yeah.
There are some unlucky bits to it, and but obviously we also had like youth academy players, right?
Yeah.
Enes Ünal, we sold him to Man City 3.8. We had Ozan Tufan went for 7 million. Then we had Cedric Bakambu.
Within two years, right? If I'm not mistaken, like all these transfers out.
Well, the thing is, I only had 11 months of spell with Christoph.
Yeah.
And we brought a lot of money, but we got fired. So
That's
that's how you rank in football. How many times you got fired?
Especially if you're in Turkey, that's the thing, If you are successful, you have more chance to be fired.
Yeah. And because, wow, they've got successful build up, let's break that and bring it from the scratch. And those days, a lot of players. And also what we saw, remember, we also watched Haaland together.
Yeah.
We did watch Haaland in
2015, 16, something like
that.
Yeah.
And it was the worst player on the field.
In that particular game, yes.
Right? And then the word that I invented comes on board, destinism. Well, that guy still, as national team player under 15.
Yeah, he was.
Right?
He was, yeah.
But someone must have seen that potential. And then, let's say, if I was a selector at that time with that knowledge, he was no to me. Imagine it was me who was making the decision, and I say no to Haaland.
Yeah, of course. I mean, in football business, you grow with the mistakes. I mean, I had lots of mistakes by myself. For example, back in time, right now playing for Brighton, Ferdi Kadıoğlu, he was playing for Neck again, like a number 10. He was like, I was working at that time. And
the only position he didn't play is the goalkeeper.
Yeah, right now, yeah. But at that time, he was mostly like a technical attacking midfielder playing on the wing sometime. But he was not very athletic. He was quick, but he was he was,
no?
he was very soft. He was very soft, playing in Dutch second league. So I was working for Beşiktaş, and as you know, Turkish league is a brutal strength league. You want players to
Tough and
sweat and blood, right?
Yeah.
So I watched the player. I was like, he's too soft for us. Like, I mean, maybe he would evolve into something decent, a player decent, but I'm not sure if he's gonna grow that much. Well, in the end, Fenerbahçe transferred him instead of us in Beşiktaş, and in 2 years he struggled exactly actually how I had foreseen. Later on, he had a transformation, physical transformation. I still have no clue how it happened, but he turned into one of the most athletic players in Turkey. He was playing like number 10. He became an inverted left wing back. He started to play for national team and everyone, and got sold for 30 million euros or something to Brighton. So from these mistakes, you understand. In this case, I understood one thing. If a player's coordination is good, and if he has long limbs, don't put a red line on him immediately. Keep watching him, because those kind of players having long limbs, and he's short, by the way, but his limbs are long, and good coordination, those players always have an athletic potential. So this was a mistake of mine. So it's not always trophies and success. Sometimes you will have to fail.
So that was you lost to 30 million, huh? I see. Well, guys, is there any questions? Anyone would like to ask any question? Please. And if you can also introduce yourself so we get to know each other.
My name is Michael Chubura from London, also Bulgarian. So I follow a bit Göztepe. Want to bring you back to that period. How close is your relationship with the coach? What's the role of the coach in transforming that team to promotion and now to a really good level at the Premier League, Turkish league? And who has the final decision? Like when you select, when you have a short list of players, is it a combined decision or like the coach?
It was in back in my time at Göztepe, it was mostly a combined decision. So in Sport Republic, the structure is different than other clubs because there are like more than 20 scouts scouting all around the world. So we were having names coming every day, lots of names coming, and we were making data and videos, if possible, live scouting. But at the same time, some names were coming from the coach. So we were, of course, the club was involving the coach, but in the end, the decision making was a combined effort. Back in Romulo's case, by the way, one of our lucks was that the coach really wanted him. I have to give credit to him. Like he really wanted the player. So it was one of the facts that we finished the deal. So of course, it's always important to involve coach. Maybe not for every like you can't you can't let coach to make every decision because it has different risks. But of course, you will have to get the idea, the opinion of the coach.
Thank you. Any other questions? Ushitan? If you can just tell a little bit about who you are as well, Ushitan.
Sure. My name is Işıtan Gün. I've been in football for 15 years. Started in financial capacity. I was the CFO of Galatasaray. After I took over a club in the Netherlands, I've been the president of Fortuna Sittard for 9 years, and I stopped that last July. So I'm a free person. Because I witnessed this transformation of transfers, and of course the financial component is also very important. How do you see AI and this data use in decision making in a club? Because now I mean I have seen some data backed or data-based decision making systems before AI became a hype. But it looks like now everyone is jumping on the wagon. Everyone is talking about AI now, just at least 3 years ago, because people forget ChatGPT was introduced in November of 2022. It's not even, it's almost 3 years only. And if you compare ChatGPT 1 to the last version, there's a huge difference. But before that, in the, let's say, 5 years preceding that time, I've never met so many scouts in my life because everyone with a laptop was considering himself or herself as a scout. So now everyone is claiming to be an AI expert. So if you can help us understand how real productive use, effective use of AI could be done in these processes.
Well, I mean, everything in my career been involved in the AI and machine learning process thanks to Christoph Daum. Because back in the 2013-14 season, he wanted us to explain reasonings, not ones and twos, whys, hows, whats. And it was a massive struggle in a short term to answer all his questions, especially with regard to scouting and player recruitment. But the process that we started is a numerative investigation process to eliminate unnecessary work time first. Because imagine coaching staff doesn't have time, assistant coaches doesn't have time, nobody really has a time. So how we can make a report to explain what exactly we think. But the process I took because I was working also with Matteo Campodonico in Y-Scout because I was also in the invention table of Y-Scout back in 2009. I was the first foreign person who went into the team to be a management consultant. And then I said to Matteo, look, I invented something. Let's do this as a product to Y Scout customers. So we worked about 2017 to 2019 up until Matteo sold the place to Huddle, which is an American giant, still probably number one in all these analysis software. And but in that 3 years' time, we couldn't achieve what we could have achieved because we didn't know the true technology of machine learning. Then, once I came back to Istanbul, I made up a team of really young guys, and one of them is Tarık here, Umut, Furkan, Didem, Orhun, all these family members. And I said, look, we need to make something to contextualize the data. Means I understand ones and twos to a degree, but I want a system to explain everything to me in human language. So how can we achieve that? So back in 2020, we've got the data pull from Y Scout at that point. Later on, Huddle added on. Okay, you need to teach something to the system first. It's a part of the machine learning process. First, okay, people's opinion about the players. Because once we watch a player, especially me and Dehan lived that a lot, he loved the player, I didn't like it. So how can we utilize a common language which derives from the data but brings me the words and answers why, how, and what the questions. So then it's like an old clock. You are doing like this, and then it works in a period of time. But what we learned first, imagine like the AI as a child, then you're growing the child. But AI has millions of much faster capacity than our own learning process. So then we introduce the profiles to the system. Okay, look, Mrs. AI, this is a profile of Dehan. He's an inverted back. What does inverted back do? And in which capacity? What kind of league? To the league weights. So it took 2 years to AI to define the league weights. Then the quality of the action. So I scored a goal against a relegation battler is a different than scoring a goal in a derby game or a away game or a Champions League game. So then, of course, ChatGPT was a great inventor that enlightened us. And now we invented another GPT system, which is called Compa GPT. Because I don't have a time, now I get my reports in less than 1 second. Okay. And also we added now the physical the comparison module. Now the system learned everything. So I was actually, to this date, still I'm lacking in physical data because I've never been a physical coach. So what I did, okay, AI is already giving me the reports, but I need to learn which center back does what kind of activities and it makes him or her best in that action. And well, then I bloody paid €100 a week, hired a fitness data specialist, and I'm learning. But the same person and a bunch of 5 very professional people who already taught the system how to extract whys and hows. So now I'm a learner from the AI. So the human is always going to be there. Human is always going to be the decision maker, but we ourselves need to develop and understand it very well. One last example. Well, a student at university works perfectly with ChatGPT, knows every single question what to ask, versus a traditional student who wins. Well, anyway, thank you very much for all of you. Now I handed the microphone to Nina.
Thank you, Tarkan, and thank you, Olgun. It was a very nice conclusion from your side. I would like to give one more round of applauses for this interesting and really engaging conversation.